My outlook when it comes to XPR in 2026 is actually quite simple. Nothing I say is financial advice. However, I'm just simply going to be dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. Now, the thing is this, I get it. It seems a little bit boring. It seems not that interesting. But in my perspective, all I can do is wait and stay patient. Now, the hypothetical idea of maybe 15 cents, I am still thinking about that. And we'll wait and see what happens, even though we're currently around 40 times lower than that. But actually, the market cap, considering current circulating supply, at maybe the idea of 15 cents is around 4 billion. So it's not a groundbreaking figure by any means. It's nothing like that ridiculous. I'll wait and see though. I don't think I've seen an altcoin season, but in my perspective, as of right now, when it comes to XPR arguably being the number 6th ranked project within the space of global trade and finance, would that be such a ridiculous thing for me to think about? I think maybe hypothetically not, right? But we'll wait and see. The thing is this as well. XPR's closest competitor, which is Swiftcoin, despite having a market cap that is around 2 times lower than this, has around 39,000 holders. This has around 41,000 holders, but the market cap is around 100 million, right? Again, Swiftcoin is still below 60 million. So really in the grand scheme of things, the way you take a look at it is that comparatively to its most closest competitor, it's not doing that bad. And also, it doesn't even necessarily, I think, need to do the best anyways, because if I consider, okay, number 2 is Stellar within this space, right, of global trade finance. Number 3 is XDC, 4 is XCN, 5 ZBC, and 6 is XPR, 7 is Swiftcoin. So basically, there's 6 other alternatives beyond XPR that are pretty popular, but XPR is not even really competing with a lot of them because it's not going to overtake XDC. It's not going to overtake like Stellar, for instance. Its closest competitor is pretty much just Swiftcoin, and Swiftcoin is like around 2 times smaller than this. So it's not like XPR is under some stiff competition within this space. This is my perspective. And I think when it comes to projects out there, people like to tell me, well, no one's really going to care about it. But if we take a look at it, for instance, right? Let's take a look at the top ISO 20022 tokens according to CoinMarketCap. XPR is there. And this is despite XPR having a market cap of around 100 million, which I think kind of showcases the difficulty in which it would need in order to be a part of that list. You know what I mean? Because we have to consider, when it comes to a lot of like the other options within this space, they have an aspect of ISO 20022. Like for instance, I just want to give an example of Stellar, XDC, ZBCN, and also arguably to maybe a certain extent, I would say even Onyx, because something called Chain, they rebranded to Onyx quite a while back ago. And then Chain is part of the Onyx ecosystem. And then Chain, even though like I'm still a fan of it as an entity, it did fully upgrade to ISO 20022 not too long ago. So really in the grand scheme of things, that's sometimes like a prerequisite. You know what I mean? That sometimes a lot of my friends out there feel like a project needs to have before it's really considered to be really focused, niche of global trade and finance. It's kind of like, going to college and then there's a prerequisite to take this class or whatever. It's kind of like that. Sometimes some of my friends do think about it that way. But yeah, besides that point as well, when I take a look at XPR, okay, again, it's run 40 times lower than 15 cents. But why would that upset me actually? Because I'm looking to dollar cost average. So if it's actually around like maybe 60 times lower, I'm not going to complain. I'd be happier actually. As opposed to if it's only like 5 times away from 15 cents. This is my perspective. And the thing is this, XPR, the market cap as of right now is around 100 million, right? But the market cap back in August of 2025, so we're talking about last year, it was around 200 million. So again, if it just goes back to that level, I mean, we're around 2 times away from that. You know what I mean? Bitcoin is not over 2 times lower than any point it's ever reached in history. You know what I mean? This is my perspective. So when it comes to XPR, sure, it's not going to become the biggest out there. It's not going to become the most popular, but does it need to? No, I don't think so. It's like, for instance, there's many people out there that live in Manhattan Beach, right? In LA. Are they all Jeff Bezos type? No, they're not. I mean, they'd have to do pretty good in order to live there, but I'm just saying, like, not every single project out there needs to necessarily become the biggest and best of all time. No, that's not necessarily the case. So, yeah, that's just the way to take a look at it. Also on top of that, like, again, at 15 cents, the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, around 4 billion. Like, that's not such a groundbreaking figure. If I just take a look at, for instance, Shiba Inu reaching around 40 billion back in 2021, years ago, right? Dogecoin reaching around 80 billion years ago back in 2021 in terms of market cap. Like, I mean, is this such a ridiculous market cap? I don't know if it does seem that way to me. Like, the thing about this is like, the way I take a look at it is if it would need like a 40 billion market cap or something like that, or something ridiculous, I should say, to reach like hypothetically 15 cents, then okay, even I wouldn't even think about that. Like, how? You know what I mean? Like, even the bigger projects like ZBC and Rexian probably can't even do that, or anywhere close to that, actually, if there was an altcoin season, let alone something like this. But is it necessarily such a bad thing? I don't think so. To me, it doesn't concern me because even though 4 billion is not such a massive market cap in such a grand scheme of things type of way, we're still around 40 times lower than that though. You know what I mean? It's just kind of how small XPR is as of right now, which I don't mind though, because some of my friends out there, they don't want to be a fan of XLM. They don't want to be a fan of XDC. Why? It's because the market cap is pretty massive. Not every single individual that enters the space of global trade and finance wants to believe in a market cap, or should I say a project that has a market cap of that size, right? So sometimes there is a market for other projects out there that don't have such a massive market cap. So when people like to tell me, well, something like Ripple exists, something like XDC, something like Onyx, something like Zepic exists, why does XPR even have a place? Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that it can't exist, right? Just because, you know what, there's other options, it doesn't mean it can't try. It's like, okay, there's like so many pizza restaurants out there, but there seems to be a lot more that are popping up, I realized. So people like options, you know, it's not only just going to be one that does everything. It's like, for instance, is Papa John's pizza the only pizza thing out there? No, it's not. There's Domino's, there's Pizza Hut and all this. So really in the grand scheme of things, like, you know, it's not just one thing, right? So I don't blame something like XPR for trying. Why not, right? If we don't try, how would we know sometimes? This is the way to take a look at it. So when it comes to something like XPR, I'm just still staying patient. I'm waiting, I'm holding. You know, I would never be able to know exactly when there could be an altcoin season, even if there is one. But I just like to stay patient in case. That's the way to take a look at it. It's like just in case. I'm not saying anything could, but I like to just stay waiting in case. Because, for instance, many, many years ago, Bitcoin was like at $10 or something like that, right? Was I still living my life at that point? Yeah. But did I care about Bitcoin? No. And it did its thing without me. But of course, I can't go back in time. So what can I do? I can just focus on the right now, which is why I like to stay waiting just in case. Whether or not I'm in this space, by the way, it will do whatever it wants to do with or without me, right? Okay, XPR has around 40,000 holders. Whether I'm a holder or not, it's going to do its thing with or without me. Even if I don't take a look at XPR, I take a look at this space overall. There's over 600 million owners, allegedly as of right now, which is supposedly more than ever before in history. Whatever this market does, whether it's up or down, it's going to do it with or without me. So if I know that the ride is going to go on with or without me, I'd rather stay patient, I suppose. It's like, for instance, whether or not I visit Universal Studios, it's still going to operate. So either I join in or I don't. This is my perspective. Either I ride the roller coaster or I don't, it's still going to go along without me anyways. This is kind of the mindset that I have sometimes. So I just like to stay waiting. However, this is just kind of my sort of outlook so far when it comes to XPR in 2026. And I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll see you all in the next video.